Welcome to Users Just Love Lookup FlowFields. Hey, I'm Eric, and now that I have the Simple Object Designer, I can see telemetry, I can see statistics on what is actually getting created with the Simple Object Designer, and also know from support tickets and so on, and a favorite, let me use that word, a user favorite is to create lookup flow fields. It's kind of a poor man's join, that in this place I would like that field to also show up, and in many cases it does not actually have to be a field in the database. The value just has to show up, and lookup flow fields are the perfect candidate for this because they only cost if you use them, and if you don't use them, they have no impact on anything. They're not stored in the database, and they just calculate on the fly when needed. So let's try to make some of those. And here is items, and let's say I have an item here, and the customer would like, let's say, the vendor's item number to show up on a sales order, because for some reason that's important for the process that when we're putting the sales order, we need to see the vendor's item number also. So how can we do that? Well, let's here's a fresh completely empty extension. Well, does the hello world thing, but we can get rid of that. So how do we create a lookup flow field? Well, the first thing we need to do is to create a table extension. In this case, I want to extend sales lines. So let's create an AL file that should be a table extension. You'll get a number, my sales line, extending it's extending sales line. And what do I need to add? Well, I need to add a field. So I'll grab the fields group and I will create a new field. Control space will give you IntelliSense, and IntelliSense knows the next number. Let's see, call this vendor item number. So right now I'm just going to do text here and then 100. We'll get back to that in a second. We'll caption vendor item number. And now we need, because we want to create a flow field, so we need to use the field class field. Normally you don't really need to go in and say field class equal normal, because that's the default value. So mostly when you add a new field anyway, you don't specify that field class should be normal, you just create a field. But in this case, we want to create a flow field. And let's make sure that you cannot edit the flow field, because there's some rare exemptions where you can edit a flow field. Maybe let's comments below if we should talk about that. Like, an example would be like in the original way that the budget module was created, was that you had a flow field and you could type in a new value, and then it would record the difference from what it had calculated and what you typed. It will create a new budget entry for that. That was like pretty cool. Maybe we should do a video on that. Let me know. But now we need to tell how to do the lookup. So we will specify a calc formula, and this is where sometimes the IntelliSense becomes less friendly, because if I do a mouse over here, the tooltip is too big to fit on screen, right? So there's a lot of stuff we can do. But we can see that we want to do lookup destination table dot destination field name where something. So that seems pretty straightforward. So lookup That's what we want to do. Let's look up into item. And I wanted to look up the item's vendor number. And we can see that, oh, that's a text 50. Okay, so we select that one. Then let's go up here and make sure that the value we have up here matches the field type of what we're trying to look up. This is, in reality, Microsoft could be smarter here. This should be completely valid syntax because the field type would come from the lookup. As soon as the field class is a flow field, the type of the field is determined by the calc formula, so you should not have to specify it, but we can do that. My keyboard has a couple of million key presses left, so I can add field types for flow fields also, but in reality we don't need it. So if we remember this thing, look up, and then we need to say where. So now we do where, another parentheses, where what? Well, let's go with where, and you can see now we're looking into fields in the item table. So where the number field is equal what? Well, const filter of field. In this case, we're going to do field, and we're going to grab the number field. And then I think we need a semicolon to be perfect. And I did this on purpose. You could say that what I've just written can break, because what if I have a resource and an item with the same number, or I have a GL account and an item with the same number, and then I specify a GL with number 100, and then it finds the vendor item number from item number 100. Sure, that will break. Statistically speaking, I cannot remember last time I saw any of my customers that actually had clashing numbers when it came to stuff like this. So in real life, I don't think it's a big issue. If it does not find anything, the field is just blank. So now we added the field to the table, so we can let's just break all the rules, because it's, and we'll add a page extension in the same file here. My sales line again, and this time we're going to extend the, I think it's called subform. That's sometimes the easiest way to locate it. Sales order subform. That's so in the olden days, before the automobile, no, before the Rotator client, you created the UI out of something called forms, and you could have a form, and inside a form you could have another form, which was known as a subform. So the lines on the sales order page are sitting in the sales order subform. So when at the beginning, when we have both classic nav or Navision and the Rotator client at the same time, there are a lot of confusion, but we have pages called subform, and we have forms, and anyway, that's where it comes from. So it's named after something that we don't have anymore, but we will remember it. A lot of people remember it with joy. It was actually pretty good. For those who have never tried it, it was, and I'm gonna totally age myself here, it's kind of like Visual Basic for business, but nobody is using Visual Basic anymore, so that reference is completely lost. Anyway, let's get back to this one, layout. So now we need to place, we have added the field. Now we need to place it on the page, in this case on the sub page. So let's go for where do we want to place it. So the first thing we need to do, we need to specify an anchor. So I want it right after the description. So that will be add after. And every time I get this pop up, I press Control Space, so I can find the description field, because these are all the columns that are shown on the sales order. So I find description and see, so what do I want to add after description? Well, I want to add this one, so I can now go field, and I can find my vendor item number field that I just created. I put an application area on this, and I think I'm done. So why don't we try it? Hit F5 to publish, and I cannot connect with that. So let's just clear credential cache and try to publish again. No, what happened here? Launch JSON. Let's see. See that? I think I typed a 5 at some point here. That was weird. Let's save this one. Hit build. There we go. Package created. Hit F5. Nothing is happening. I think I want to reload now. I think I completely messed up this app for some reason. Loading workspace. This is exciting. Behind my back says loading, preparing. Loading workspace, : preparing. Here goes nothing. Hit F5. I authenticate against my Docker. I think we're back in business. That was weird. That a random character typed into the launch JSON would still allow it to launch, but it suddenly tried to authenticate with something else. Anyway, who cares? Items. I forgot what item number was. The Athens. I think that was the one I added. 1896. That's when the Olympics was in Athens. So we go to sales orders now. In this case, I should remember to change my launch JSON so it will actually start in sales order. So we can see that this is blank. So if I go here and I go for item and 1896 Athens, boom, I get my vendor item number here. And as an added bonus, I can click on it, and in this case I get, because the lookup page ID is default for items, the item list. So I could go back here, and if I want people to click on it, I can do a specified here. Can't even remember. I think I might have to specify it down here on the page. Lookup page ID equal 30. And then let's be clever and update sales order 42, 44, 42. Haha, the answer is 42. So let's actually be we deploy, everything is all right. Sales order I can't remember what sales order I opened up. This one. I click on Athens. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get to. Is this 30 or? That's 31. Interesting. That did not. Is it because it's not lookup page ID? Somebody's yelling at the screen now. Is it drill down page ID? Not lookup. I'll give it one more chance here. Boom, go to the next one. Let's see. There we go. So that is a lookup flow field. So an easy way to, we need some fields, and maybe we need more than one. And I say the following without having double checked this for a while. So if somebody from Microsoft wanna confirm or deny what I'm saying right now in the comments, please do. I do believe that if we have multiple calc fields with the same filters and the same destination. So let's say that I want to do one more here. I'll just do this to make it simple. That should be encapsulated in the same, have the same SQL cost, is what I'm trying to say. So if you pull out multiple fields from the same place, from the same record, same filters, it should be in the same SQL statement. So there's no real cost difference between one lookup field and 7 lookup fields as long as they are from the same record. I was told that at some point. I have not dissected the on-prem SQL calls to see if that is the case. If somebody has, or somebody from Microsoft can confirm that is still the case, comments below, please. Anyway, that is a lookup flow field, and it's really handy for some. Oh, hey Eric, can you add that? I need this field to show up here because that my life is just so much better. My day is much easier. I need this information at my fingertip, whatever reasoning the client have. And it's a very low impact because you're not adding a bunch of fields to them. You not have to think about how to populate the field and the validating the item number, and then we need to populate the extra field and all that good stuff. You just show the field on the screen when needed. There are some drawbacks. We can go back to this one for a second actually. There are some drawbacks. If I click up here, we can filter for sure. But it's an expensive filter because filtering on a flow field is you're giving a SQL Server a bit of workout, but you can do it, and you can also do the sorting and stuff like that. So it behaves and works kind of like a filter, but when it comes to stuff in this menu, it's not very performant. So if you're adding the field and then you're suddenly filtering millions of records, you're gonna have a bad time. Then this is not the way to do it. But for the how many lines an average how many lines an average sales order have, should be fine. I use it all the way anyway, so your mileage may vary, but my users love it, and I can see in the simple object designer that hundreds, thousands of these are created, and the reason for that is, of course, that they bring a lot of value to the solution. So if you need more L hacking, this video is, I think I need to move my head, actually. Something is going wrong here. This video is the one you need to check out. It's for you. I'll see you there. Take care.